how do we go into October, November, December with any sense of confidence that it doesn't continue to spiral down?
So Europe is doing quite a good job to start building up its energy stocks. Earlier this year, and in fact all during 2021, energy prices started to climb. Low wind year, low storage. This year, at the beginning of the year, low gas storage in Europe is a big problem. Europe has now mandated by the 1st of November, 80% gas storage. It's very likely Europe is going to be able to muddle through this winter. The big question is what happens over the next couple of years. And we're here to talk about the power lunch. Power is a component of the problem in Europe, most of which comes from natural gas. But the real question is going to be about heat and transport fuels. And I think that's going to be a persistent problem for the next 2 or 3 years in Europe, driving up demand prices and creating further problems.
And can you talk a little bit about currency impact on this situation as well and how that plays into what was already a difficult scenario?
Yeah, I mean, obviously energy has been a very large component of inflation. Inflation, therefore, is destabilizing currencies, interest rate increases, reacting, to try and stabilize inflation. So we're in a difficult spot. I think one of the things that we've seen, though, is how Europe is going to react to this. Now, the immediate reaction was we'll double down on new production. Let's find new nuclear power, gas, renewables. I think what's now happened in Europe is a fundamental understanding that perhaps one of the only ways out of this is to start using less energy. I don't mean being less productive for the economy, just less wasteful. Actually, it turns out in the United States and in Europe, roughly 2/3 of primary energy is lost somewhere between the point of converting it, generating energy, transmitting it, distributing. And that is one of the most fundamental problems that this huge wake-up call that Europe has now had, I think, will bring to the surface. And the policy response in Europe actually now is about not just adding energy supply, but actually starting to say, let's cut demand, let's reduce gas, let's reduce electricity, 15% and 5% reductions in each case. Let's be more efficient and productive with the economy. And this wake-up call could translate to that.
I don't want to bog down on it, but that was a fascinating thing you just said there, that 2/3 of the energy potency or power in gas is lost from the point at which it comes out of the ground to the point at which it's delivered to the home. Why is that quickly?
Very quickly, roughly 10% of energy, primary energy, gets lost, converting it to something useful for pipelines or from crude oil to petrol or diesel. We put the gas molecule into a turbine. About 50% turns into electricity. The rest is heat. If you're generating energy away from the point of use, the heat gets dumped. So that's 50%. And then another 10% of energy is lost between transmission and distribution networks. It's extraordinarily inefficient. The United States is about 70% loss. Europe is 2/3 to 70%. And last point I'll make on that is the last time Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, the European Energy Commissioner said for every unit of natural gas we don't use, every 1 unit we don't use is 2.6 units we don't have to buy from Russia. Why? Because 2/3 they knew was being wasted. It is
fascinating stuff. I learn something every day, and this is a prime example of that. Very quickly, let me ask you this. In a nutshell, is this crisis an opportunity?
I think to the point I just made, this is one of the greatest opportunities we have. Energy getting lost in the system because we've built a centralized energy network. A big opportunity to start to decentralize, bring energy to the point of use, reduce the amount of energy that buildings waste. They typically waste 20 or 30%. We now know energy is one of the most valuable commodities in the world. Everybody and everything depends on it, but most of it is wasted. What a fantastic opportunity for productivity.
Fascinating.
And that, I think, is the big lesson of this energy crisis.
Jonathan, very interesting. Thank you so much. We'll have you back soon. Jonathan Maxwell, we appreciate it.